1-1 in an absolutely heroic performance from those Manchester City players, particularly in that last 25 minutes. Still joined by Paul Dickov, Laura Bassett and by David James. It seems, Paul, so unjust because they fought so hard.
Yeah, it was a bit dull, wasn't it? No, look, they did, and they'll be absolutely gutted about it. But Gareth, rightly so, will be super, super proud of his team, of his players, and saying heroic every single one from Kira Keaton all the way through. Alessandra was outstanding. Esme Morgan, Kennedy at the back. Lauren Hemp, although unfortunately she got sent off, she was just unbelievable, especially in the second half, down to 10 men up and down that left-hand side. And they'll be heartbroken with it because they didn't deserve it. And I'd rather talk about how great they were defensively and putting their bodies in the line and their attitude and their work rate and everything else than talk about the referee now.
I know, I very much rather would as well, but I think sadly we're going to have to touch on it because City were down to 9 at the end of that game. And again, we said it at half-time, Laura, if you read that and you've not watched the game, you're going to presume this was a dirty game.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Like you say, you just assume there's a lot of late challenges, elbows, such high physicality, and it really wasn't like that. Obviously, we saw players be booked for dissent, which we've already spoken about how the WSL referees are cracking down on. So, even your appeals, you just simply can't do it. It's not even in an aggressive manner. We saw that people just voicing the high emotion. Players are going to have to learn to curb it. But it takes the joy out of the game.
The natural emotion is to complain when you feel something's gone against you. It's different if you're doing it in an aggressive way and you're running up. Look, Lauren didn't do that at all. She was just like...
She's been absolutely working herself into the ground. She thinks... So the ball went out for a corner. She thinks it should have been... Or the ball's gone out for a throw and she thinks it should have been City.
Just turned around and
all
claimed.
she does is just goes... Ah!
She's just turned around and claimed for the goal
especially
kick.
in high-pressure situations. It's a huge game. They've already had to deal with adversity with Alex Greenwood going off in the first half. As a player, you hold on to anything, appeal if you think it's going to make a 1% difference.
So City go down to 9, and after that, David, they just fight. I mean, it was like a wall at the back. You saw the line of the 5 and then the 3 in front of them. And for a time, you just thought nothing is getting through this. They were solid.
Yeah, it's a very funny situation in the game because, like you've just touched on, there was stuff that didn't need to happen. But what a game of football. For all the things you just mentioned there, I mean, City, even at 10 players, were under the pump. And when they had 9 players, even more under the pump. The way the goal was scored is heartbreaking. But the effort, and Paul already mentioned, I think you can list literally every player who was on the field at some moment had a positive influence. Kiara Keaton, I feel for her. What a save before the goal. But to be in that position wasn't great, but what we ended up was a magnificent game of football. And had this been 11v11 all the way through, fancy football and 1-1, I don't think we would have been as impressed by the City performance. The 2 change rooms there, one will be disappointed because they nearly won with 9 players. The other will be, we got away and we should have won that. So I think City are in a better position emotionally. Definitely tomorrow. Maybe not right now, but tomorrow. But every player, oh wow, what a performance.
I feel like my heart's still going. I feel exhausted, and I was just watching them. I don't know where they were getting that energy and that incredible level of fight. I want to touch on the Chelsea goal. In terms of following the laws of the game were applied. But when you think about how unfair that law is, so the ball's gone out for a corner for Chelsea. Alana Kennedy, who has fought for 90 minutes, has gone down with cramp. She's getting her legs stretched out for cramp. And due to the law of the game, because she's had treatment on the pitch, she then has to go off the pitch, which means Chelsea are taking a corner and City then have 7 outfield players to defend that versus Chelsea's 10. That is seriously unlucky, Laura.
Yeah, it's especially the nature of who it was. Alana Kennedy, I think every ball into the box was won by her in the air. Her first contacts were phenomenal today. And like you say, you're already up against it. To see your best centre-back in the air going off, you know that you're all going to have to really put yourselves on the line, and they did in that first phase, wasn't it? And you can even see when it ricochets, everyone's flying in, just trying to get the body on the line. And Yui Hasegawa was unlucky on the line. I think, sometimes you're concentrating too much and the ball just spills and you can't control your body because they're absolutely spent. They've put so much mental and physical effort into the game so far. And like you say, from a player's point of view, from a Man City point of view, it's heartbreaking. It's so disappointing.
But in the end, if we're looking for positives, like David said there, Paul, they're going to be so proud of themselves. If anything, it feels like this is going to bond them even more as a team.
If they could.
You feel like the team spirit's going to be even better.
Yeah, we were speaking about the team spirit and the atmosphere within the changing room before the game, and you've seen that there. Everybody, the subs that came on, even the subs that didn't come on, you can see they were all behind it. But yeah, they'll be disappointed. But they've showed a different side today as well, because when you talk about the Man City's ladies team, you talk about them being lovely on the ball, playing out for the back, playing between the lines, getting the ball wide, the philosophy that runs all the way through the club. But they've showed today that if they need to dig in and put their bodies in the line, they're very, very good at that as well.
Yeah, they really are. And just a quick word on Chelsea as well, Laura, because I think perhaps surprising really that we didn't see too much from Chelsea, particularly sort of in the first half and the start of the second half. They didn't have any huge big chances. I kind of was expecting a bit more, but is that just to give even more credit to City?
Well, I think first of all, you have to give City credit the way they defended, how robust, how disciplined they were, how determined. But I agree, I think I was disappointed with Chelsea in terms of their delivery in wide areas. Guro Reiten, who's an assist queen last year, her deliveries from the left-hand side weren't good enough. And they just kind of relied on Lauren James's individual brilliance, which we did see. She hit the crossbar. It was more kind of give the ball to Lauren James, give the ball to Frank Kirby and hope and expect that they do some kind of magic, get on the half turn and thread those balls through, rather than, a team play, stretching, manipulating, moving City around. That's not maybe what Chelsea are good at. It's kind of when teams sit in low blocks and are really resolute, that's kind of their kryptonite, and we saw that today, but they just managed to get over the line and get a point.
So we look ahead, the games come thick and fast. They are going to have to pick themselves up because they next play on Wednesday night. It's the Conti Cup. Oh, we love the Conti Cup here, don't we, David? We love it. They're playing Everton away. That is a Group B match. It's only a couple of days, really, to get over what happened today. How will they do that in such a short time?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when you look over the game, all the elements of the game, the sending offs and the whatever, I think a lot of it explains itself as opposed to fundamental errors by City players. So I think they'll get over that bit. The frustration or disappointment of not winning when put into position that you're actually down to 9 players, you look at it and say, actually, we did well not to lose, even if it meant that we lost the win right at the end. So I think confidence-wise shouldn't be an issue. Physically, though, there were a lot of tired players out there. Lauren Hemp, I think, I don't know how many metres she ran at full speed, tackling everybody, doing everything. I think they'll be all right. Tonight will be the time that they've got to deal with today's game.
Sore bodies tonight, I expect.
One or two.
Yes. You'll get full coverage of the game against Everton on Wednesday night on City Plus, so you can watch that on City Plus on Wednesday. David, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For joining
Thank you very much for having me. What a game.
What a game. Yes, Laura, thank you so much for being here. You must come back again. If you can
handle that drama.
Oh, yes. Oh, gosh, yeah, definitely. Well, hopefully not, yes. Hopefully, nice children if you come again. Thank you so much for being here. Paul, thank you so much as well for being here. Thank you all for joining us today for this Matchday Live for the WSL today. What an unbelievable, heroic performance we have just witnessed from Manchester City. And hopefully that is going to bode well for what is going to happen for the rest of the WSL season. Now, in 45 minutes' time, Paul, David and I will be back. For the Premier League, we'll have another Matchday Live for you as we build up to Manchester City versus Arsenal in the Premier League. That is a 4:30 p.m. kickoff. So, go and do what we're going to do. Get some fresh air, take a deep breath, let your heart rate settle. I'm going to have a brew and we'll see you again in 45 minutes. But do you know what? I really hope that the next game's not...
It's got a lot to live up to now.
It has got... I can't handle another one. Can't handle another one like that. Manchester City, absolutely heroic today. Round of applause to every single one of those women that played today. We are exceptionally proud of you. And thank you all for joining us on Matchday Live. We'll see you again in 45 minutes.
Congratulations Arsenal for the competition of the trophy. We were close.
We lost 3 in a row. Do you know why? Because we won the Premier League.
This is the big one we've been waiting for.
We're the team to beat, but everybody else around us is getting better. What Arsenal have done in the summer makes them better.
You have to be ready.
Jack Grealish scores! Haaland! That could be that tonight! Looking for Foden! It's Haaland! Alvarez shooting position, 1-0 City! Doku into the area, keeps on going and scores!
Pep is a genius. He's the master. But can the pupil beat him?